who the fuck to trust, is she my friend or my foe? I'm a exit, bro, yeah, she give me that claim I was roll. I remember back when I was younger, I was happy. Nowadays feel like no one understand me. I'm good at artists, silly on Bob, Bambi. Baby's yellow, text. She wanna eat me like candy. Running through racks, track me. I run up the racks like an athlete. Big facts, you're the dick, 6 flags. Ballin' like dick flags, told her I love her. I ain't really mean that, yeah. I remember.
So, well, cheers everyone.
Yeah, cheers. How classy is it drinking orange juice out of wine glasses?
I actually love these.
These got our logo. These were made by Brighton Trophy Centre. And that was a little gift. Thank you very much, guys. We love these.
We do. Anyway, so, handstand, 10 metres up in the air. Mm-hmm. How long do you hold the handstand for?
I'd probably hold it a little bit too long.
Is there like a time? Is it better if you hold it longer? Like, do the judges go, wow, she's a lot stronger than the rest? They'll give her a few extra points for that, or? You
definitely want to show that you have control. I don't think if you hold it, as long as you just hold it for probably 2 seconds to show that you're pretty steady, you know what you're doing, and then you go.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I maybe hold it a bit too long, and perhaps the judges are probably, with their neck looking up, probably not too happy about it. But yeah, I don't think there's extra points, but as long as you show that you've got some control, then you don't get any points deducted. So.
Well, let's talk about the point system as well, because that's another thing I kind of...
It's very intricate, isn't it? It's very...
It is. Yeah. Like, you know, my sport, it's time, you know, or football, it's score. But you guys, it's points.
Yeah.
How do they score that, or...
So pretty much the execution's out of 10.
Yeah.
So obviously the perfect dive is worth 10.
Yeah.
So you want to be trying to get as close to that as you can.
Yeah.
And then basically there's many judges. So the top the top highest and the 2 lowest get scratched. Obviously to try and find the middle scores that hopefully, because sometimes the judging can be, you might get a 6.5 and then the top judge might give you an 8. So there's a little bit of variability because everyone's obviously pretty subjective. So the 2 lowest, 2 highest get taken away, and then they added together and then times by the degree of difficulty, and then that's your score.
So I want to know.
That's pretty much how the scoring works.
I want to know because there would have been some massive horror diving disasters.
Yeah.
What's the worst one you've ever seen?
Probably one of mine.
One of your own. Yes.
That's the worst one you've ever seen.
Yeah, one of my dives did go pretty viral, unfortunately.
Did it?
Yeah.
We got to get that up.
That freaks me out. The other day when we were chatting about having you on, I started Googling kind of diving fails.
Actually, they're obviously the worst.
On YouTube, it freaked me out completely.
Yeah.
So tell us about your dive.
So pretty much I was at the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games pool, and for us divers, I don't know what it's like for you guys, but it's a pretty hard pool to dive in because it's pretty windy there. And
our pool's pretty hard as well.
and the water is super blue. It's a really pretty pool, but the water is the exact same color as the sky. So when we're rotating in the air, as soon as you see the sky, you just know you're gone. So I remember I was doing my front 3.5, which probably wasn't my best dive anyway. And
so what's that, sorry? Front 3.5?
Yeah, in a pike position. So 3.5 somersaults. And pretty much I just remember seeing the sky, and I just knew that I was gone, and I was just waiting. By the time you realize you're seeing the sky, you're pretty much just like about to whack, because you can't, it goes so fast that you just can't pick up the water again.
And you're in there for what, like 2 seconds?
Yeah, I think it's 1.6.
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, that wasn't great. And then I pretty much went for pretty much a quad and landed flat on my back.
Yeah, right.
It was actually pretty bad.
10 meters.
Yeah, pretty bad. Landed in a pike, split all the skin on my back.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I ended up getting back up. I jumped in the spar, and there's always a paramedic at that pool.
Yeah.
Because, to be honest, someone accidents themselves nearly every day. So the paramedic comes over to the spar and she's like, "Oh, do you need any paracetamol?" And I was like, "No, definitely."
Really?
In my head, I was like, "No, definitely need something a bit stronger than that."
Right.
I'm like, I'm good. And then, yeah, pretty much just got straight back up because I was meant to compete the next day, and I also knew that if I didn't get back up, I'd probably be a little bit nervous the next day. So got back up, and the next dive was fine. And
is it a pride thing? Is it?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you don't want to do something embarrassing. I mean, there was a few other countries there. It was an international comp.
Especially when you're considered one of the
Look, I'm not the top diver in Australia. I'd like to
No,
be.
but you're up there. You're up there from what I've seen. That thing we saw on Instagram, that was crazy.
That's
man.
crazy, yeah.
So working hard, but yeah, you definitely don't want it to ever go wrong.
Yeah.
So, but it does happen, and obviously it happens to everyone. I've definitely known to have had quite a few bad whacks, and that was just because, especially when I transferred over from gymnastics, I was 18 at the time, so I was pretty impatient. I was pretty keen to get all my dives because I already felt pretty
Ambitious.
old. Yeah, very determined to get the dives. So yeah, there's quite a few. I was black and blue for about 3 months, just couldn't land on my head to begin with.
It's crazy you kept getting back up.
Yeah.
Very inspiring.
Thank you.
So the pools, because I remember in Rio as well, there was some sort of kind of problem because the pool was green or something, like the diving pool went green, and then divers were all getting confused. And
yeah.
So that actually plays a big part. Is what you try to see the water a couple of times on your dive to know you've done the flip.
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, so you spot where you're pretty much where you are in the air. Obviously, you feel it as well.
Yeah.
But a lot of our diving, depending on what dive it is as well, especially if you're doing a back or reverse dive, it's all about what you see.
Yeah.
Just for the consistency. If you don't really see anything and you're just going by feel, as soon as you get to a competition, you've got those nerves involved. You're just gonna.
It's like a
you're gonna
vantage
nail it.
point to you, is it? Having like been set on the water or something like that? Is
Well, everyone kind of spots different
like
things.
an anchor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So most people will see the water, and then usually, if it's perhaps like a back dive, you would choose a spot where you come out, and then you obviously see where your feet are, and then you do the dive in. So whereas the front, yeah, you obviously want to be seeing the water before you dive in.
It's very interesting.
And if you don't, you know it's gonna.
It
be
is.
I'd love to be in the head of someone that just for that time.
I couldn't do it. I think even for me personally, watching it, I think you guys get so close to the like platforms or the boards every single time.
Yeah.
And our mate Grant, like I remember speaking to him and him showing his knuckles and stuff, how many times he'd hit his knuckles and broken fingers.
Yeah, I
and
think I've got a few scars.
Would you know, Grant? No.
you'd know Grant now.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Grant, I hope you watch this episode, mate. You're on one day when we're looking for retired divers.
I want to know. I should finish my mouthful first.
No, I don't think so.
No. Well, what gets you ticking behind the diving? What kind of motivates you in your life, and what do you enjoy, and what's your hobbies? And
Hobby would be tennis. Absolutely love
yeah.
tennis. Love watching it. Love playing. Probably
you were
not.
there yesterday, weren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, so I went to the Adelaide International last night, which was good. First time there.
Was that the final?
Yeah, the women's final.
Who won?
Iga Swiatek. She was really good. She just dominated. Played super well. She's really young, only 19, and
Was the other girl 16? Is that right?
no,
she's
the other
big.
girl's maybe 22 or 3.
I thought
But
there was a
quite
really
young
young
still.
American girl in there for some reason.
Yeah, Coco.
Yeah.
So she, unfortunately, wasn't in the final, but she's also a powerhouse coming through. So, which I think is exciting because we've obviously had so many of the big tennis players like Serena Williams, and even for the males like Federer and Nadal, and it's exciting to see some of these younger athletes.
Up-and-comers.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. See, I love seeing the GOATs get greater. You know what I mean? Like, I love nothing more than seeing people like LeBron James win again.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big...
LeBron James. Or those guys. Like, I just think it's so inspiring that people can do it for so long. It's crazy.
So can we try this other one?
Vegemite?
No.
What was this one like?
Really nice.
Just
Have a
like
go.
dig in with the fork, or we
Yeah,
gotta...
listen to this flavour. White chopped apple crumble.
It is amazing. I'm really happy I put it on.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's. Well, I have another question for you that's away from diving.
Yeah.
You obviously came across from Victoria in peak COVID times when you guys were in lockdown. How did isolation go for 14 days?
The hotel quarantine, you mean?
Oh yeah, true. Hotel quarantine.
It wasn't as bad as I thought.
Yeah.
I just honestly tried to embrace it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no point fighting it because
What else can you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were very lucky. I mean, we did have a balcony, so I think that makes a really big difference, just having the fresh air. So I think definitely could not complain.
Yeah.
The-
Well, you could. But you won't.
That's a really good mindset.
Yeah.
And I just pretty much had a routine going. I actually really liked it. I probably wouldn't do it again, but I just actually really liked it. And I mean, being an athlete, we spent so much time in hotels, so it wasn't really unfamiliar for me to be in a hotel.
Yeah.
Food was pretty good. You could also order a barista coffee every morning from the cafe.
Okay.
Just call the cafe or send a text. Which
Some
was
kind
good.
of routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
listen to a podcast in the morning, chat to some friends.
It would be hard. Like
Watch
all
a
you
movie.
guys are very active, and it must be hard to just sit anywhere for that long. Has to be. I can do it. It's no problem for me.
I think I would love it. I think I'm a person that has become quite recluse, and I really love my own space. And I think just being able to sit back for a little while and have no obligations or nothing to do would be nice. But I think if the Olympics go ahead, you'll have to do it again.
What's any word on that, or do we know?
I think they announced the end of March, but it's all looking very good. But they're talking 2 weeks hotel quarantine for everyone when we get home.
Which I think is going to be pretty hard.
So would you
You don't
rather
know?
then, this is the question I have in my head at the moment, for myself personally, but would you rather do 2 weeks in a room with someone, say coming off the Olympic Games, so you've
Yeah.
already been away for potentially 8 weeks
Yeah.
with someone,
Yeah.
2 weeks with the same person, can't leave the room, or you go by yourself?
You obviously get to choose the person.
I guess if you get put in that situation, you'd hope you get to choose.
A colleague. It'd have to be a colleague. That's
And it's have to be one of the divers.
So you'd probably have connecting rooms, I'd say.
You reckon?
Yeah.
That would be good.
I think that would be alright because if
Yeah.
you just want some alone time, you just shut your door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't mind having someone else there if it was a connecting room. If we were kind of living on top of each other for 2
Yeah.
weeks, maybe not so much, but
I feel like that would be the
way to go.
the choice that they'd go for, though. I
You'd
feel
go,
like
you'd go solo.
oh, absolutely, I'd go solo. But I mean, if I didn't think of the connecting room thing, I thought it would be like a room with 2 little single beds next to each other, and you're kind of in there for 14 days.
that'd be a bit full on.
I reckon I'd last less than 24 hours.
Alright, so then I have a question for you. So then obviously post-Olympics, I obviously haven't been to an Olympics yet. What are the emotions that you go through? Obviously you're probably going to come off whether you win a medal or not, you're probably going to come off either a really big high because you've obviously made the Olympics, or maybe your performance hasn't been that good, so you're obviously like pretty shattered. Going into a 2-week quarantine, how do you think that's going to go? That's obviously going to be pretty hard.
Well, that's the hard thing about the Olympics, I think, in general, is that people go there and there's so many emotions because people do well, people do really badly, people are content, and then you kind of have to still be teammates and support each other. Whether, you know, like you could be in a final with someone who might be expected to win and they do really poorly and you win, and then you got to try and support them and try and, I don't know, level out your emotion almost. And then I think it would be different. I think for me, obviously doing well in Rio and then staying on for 2 weeks was just like a big celebration, and then coming home to this, you know, full, we had a chartered flight home, landed in Sydney, into the hangar, and they had the Prime Minister there, and it was full, they had bands and everything going, and then it was like a big celebration for like the next, I don't know, 6 months almost probably, like flying around the country, even the world, to do photo shoots and media. So that's obviously if you do well. So yeah, I don't know, if you it would be very challenging, I think. But I think it could also be very grounding for the people that do well, because it doesn't put you above anyone else. You get jammed in a room for 2 weeks, and it probably gives you an opportunity to kind of sit back, kind of break down what you've done, speak to the people you need to speak to. Because I know, again, like if you do well, like you have thousands and thousands and thousands of messages across social media platforms or commitments to do. So it probably gives you that opportunity to actually sit back and do it and probably break it all down. And I guess if you don't do so well, then you're able to kind of also do the same, chat to people that you need to chat to. And
That'd be pretty hard to.
it would
deal
be,
with, though.
I don't know, that would be a challenge. Be a massive challenge.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Will be.
It's going
I
to be
think-
interesting regardless with everything going on.
Yeah,
it's
it
going
will
to be
be.
different this year.
Maddie asks, how do you qualify for the Olympics and for diving?
Well, we obviously have our trials in June.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they're pretty much the same time as the swimming ones.
Yep.
So that's obviously, you need to perform well at that. Top 2 go. We also kind of have a little bit of a problem right now because we still have one more qualifying event to qualify Australia for the Olympics. So we still need some of our synchro events, and we need one more individual event for the boys. So obviously World Cup's meant to be in April. We're not really sure if that's going to go ahead. Right now I think it's 50-50. So we're all just kind of waiting around, training hard, and
Geez, that's quite soon if they haven't even
It
made a
is.
call yet. That's 2 months away.
it is. So we have our World Cup trial in about a month. And then, yeah, we pretty much, so if the World Cup doesn't go ahead, then I think they're going to use results from 2019 to then, I guess, pick the spots for the Olympics.
Yep.
But yeah, so we're not really sure. If that does happen, one of my events misses out. I do 10-meter synchro as well, so we would be first reserved for the Olympics, and obviously.
Oh, they do 10-meter synchro.
Yes, I do 10-meter
That's
synchro
with
with
two people
Nikita.
doing it at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
They
crazy.
have to do the same sort of thing.
Yeah,
I didn't know
that's
that
nuts.
was an event. That is
Yeah.
insane.
So I do that with Nikita.
Okay.
She was in the gym the other morning.
Yeah.
And yeah, we would be obviously hoping to go to World Cup and qualify Australia. Of course, it's pretty tough. You have to come in the top 7 in the world. So because obviously
Wow.
Japan get a spot.
Jeez.
So I don't know. It's kind of like even if World Cup does go ahead, should we go? Are we
Oh, yeah.
risking our Olympic campaign if we go? Because obviously I also do individual.
Yeah.
And we would have to quarantine on the way back from
Oh,
World
yeah,
Cup, and then
true.
our Olympic trials are only a few weeks away. So it's
Oh, dear.
a lot of big decisions and
It's also hard for you guys to
It is. There's
work
a,
all
So
around
yeah,
this.
complicated.
Oh,
it is. Yeah, it's insane. It's all a lot of thinking.
So yeah, so once we know about the World Cup, then we'll know what positions we have, and then we have the trial.
Yeah.
And then obviously you just trial for the positions that we have.
That makes sense.
But we have pretty much every individual spot, which is really good. And we would get a few of our synchro spots if they were to take the results from World Champs, and 2 of the synchro teams would miss out, which is obviously pretty devastating.
Yeah.
Because it would be nice to at least have a go and try and qualify.
How do we go in diving? How do we actually compare to? Obviously, China's very good. I know.
Yeah, China are very dominant in diving, but I would say that Australia is still pretty good. We're up there.
That's cool.
Maddie Keeney is probably one of our top divers. She is absolutely incredible, and I would say that she'd definitely be looking at least 1, if not 2 medals.
Wow.
And then her synchro partner, Annabelle Smith, as well. Both of them are a world-class synchro team, and yeah, we definitely have so many talented divers across the board. And again, you never know what's going to happen at the Olympic Games.
Exactly right.
so would you, obviously diving isn't like, in school it'd be soccer, football, more than something like diving.
Yeah.
Would you encourage young people to get into diving, or what's your...
Of course, I mean, it's so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so fun to just be able to do a backflip whenever, like I could just stand and do a
True.
backflip.
It is cool.
So I personally love it.
What, here you could stand up on the ground and do a backflip. Wow, that's really impressive. And
Maybe I'll synchronise one later.
I wouldn't want to land on my head on the concrete. That wouldn't be too good.
Take my lead, you'll be fine.
Especially for some of the, I guess, I mean, to be a diver, you have to be quite small. If you think about a lot of sports in Australia, being tall is quite helpful.
Yeah.
So, I've always loved, I love gymnastics, and then diving's kind of just another form of gymnastics, I guess. So,
Yeah.
definitely encourage people to get into it.
Yeah, you might
fun. There's a
not
lot of
hear about it
opportunities.
much, but
Yeah.
have a go. Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunities. I mean, we get to travel the world as well and get to compete and represent Australia, which I think is just like the highest privilege, and that's why I obviously get up every morning.
How do you get into it though? Like, is there clubs or?
Yeah, there's clubs. So you just
right.
go down to your local pool if there's a diving pool there.
Yeah.
There'd definitely be a club, but most of the pools would have a high performance program anyway. And then if you're talent ID, then you just start going through the high performance program.
Maybe we should start a synchronised duet.
I think you probably could. Maybe jumping off the 1 meter.
and really like elegant stuff, like
How's your toe point?
best toe point you could ever imagine.
Like ballerinas?
I think this has been one of our best flowing episodes, to be honest. 'Cause
Yeah,
it is just
you're easy
interesting
to talk to. Yeah, and diving's
to
an
work it all
interesting,
out. It is
niche
interesting.
kind of thing, isn't it?
It's cool. It is really cool.
I mean, we all know a swimmer, but we don't know too many divers.
It is hard though, because when we talk, the amount of people that I talk to and I say that I'm a diver,
Yeah.
straight away they think I'm a scuba diver.
Oh, yeah.
That's
good
what
point,
someone
actually.
said to me.
I'm
I
like,
said,
alright.
I've got a diver coming on the show, and they're like, oh, what, around sharks? Or I'm like, sharks? I'm like, scuba diver. No, not a scuba diver.
Yeah. 10-meter platform diver. That's cool.
10-meter platform scuba diver.
I wish, it'd be good if the qualifying was just a simple, easy process that.
It sounds like it's getting more complicated with Corona. It sounds like it's even more complicated than it was before.
Well, it's even hard because we don't, like Australia, we're pretty lucky, but we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or next week. And obviously with our trials, like what happens if a border shuts and someone can't get there?
Well, he made a really good point on the show before. He said, we're all okay, we can train everything. What about countries like England and that, where they can't even leave the house?
Yeah.
How's it fair that you're competing against people like that? So it's a different year, man.
It is.
It's just it's unprecedented, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it happens.
But a lot of them have, I know with the divers, especially in the UK, they're still able to train even though they're in lockdown.
So swimming.
Are they? Okay.
Swimming, or like lots of the sports, especially, I've got friends in the UK and friends in Canada that I've spoken to recently that are kind of like, well, our high performance program can train. So I know in the UK they've got 3 pools open in the whole entire country.
Oh my lord.
So it allows maybe, I don't know, 50 or something swimmers to be able to actually train at the moment. And then the rest can't. So if you're a young kid coming up that's never made the team before and you're not in a high performance program, you're no good. Same with Canada, they've got 1 program open in Toronto.
Wow.
So their team's already been auto-selected and
auto-selected.
yeah, they've just kind of gone off previous results, which could happen with us. Like our selection's going to be really weird as well because it's like trials are here in June. But if they don't go ahead, then it'll be in Brisbane, just in case borders are closed in June. And if both of those for some reason can't go ahead, then it goes back to a competition in Sydney that we should all be racing at. So
well, at least they've got backup plans. That's good.
Yeah, but then it could be April. Like our national champs is in April on the Gold Coast. So swimming normally you peak once, kind of almost every 4 years. You swim your fastest almost.
Wow.
So if you have to constantly swim your fastest throughout the year, it'll be interesting to see how people manage it and how people go. But it is definitely a weird year. But we are very lucky here. We're very, very fortunate.
Would you be filthy if someone comes out and they haven't been able to train, done nothing, and just smashes everyone?
I feel like some of those people probably will do that because they'll put less pressure on themselves.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
Be able to enjoy the experience and go, well, I haven't been able to train.
They're not going to be overthinking it and just go and do
because that's going to be the other weird thing is obviously with no crowds at the Olympic Games at this stage, people who struggle to compete in crowds and take on that, like feel the pressure. You know, you have 15,000 people in the crowd and it's very loud for a final. People crack under that pressure and aren't able to succeed. Mm-hmm. I think those people will manage to do a whole lot better. So there might be a little bit of crowd, but for me, I'm a person that needs that crowd to give me the energy and give me that excitement. And I know, like I go out there and kind of have a look when I'm in the marshalling room and just look up into the crowd and see what's going on. And without that, it'll be just like doing a training session, really.
Yeah.
Except it's Olympic final.
But to try and imagine everyone that's watching on the TV.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. It'll be the most watched Olympics ever, probably on the TV.
Yeah,
That's
well,
sure.
yeah. Well, there's nothing else.
You'll be sitting down watching?
I'll be watching. I'll be watching with your people, I reckon.
Yeah, with my people?
Yeah, I reckon. You know, they do that. They all get together, the family and the friends.
That would be cool.
Yeah, film it,
That'd
send
be
it
fun.
to you. Yeah,
That would be.
We got Laura.
She'll be there.
Hopefully I'll be there.
Oh yeah, you'll be.
Look, it is going to be pretty hard to make the team, but hopefully I will be there.
No, I didn't mean. I didn't think.
It's on the same time. Diving's first? No.
Yeah.
First.
Oh, it kind of goes through the whole time.
Yeah.
But 10 metre platform is usually one of the first events, or synchro.
Yeah.
And then, 10 metre platform.
I
Men's
feel like
platform
swimming's
always.
always at the end, isn't it? Right.
No,
at the
always
end.
at the start.
That's
first
swimming?
week, yeah.
Oh, is it?
First week, and then it goes into athletes.
I don't know anything.
Basketball. I don't know what else is on it. Shooting's normally the first one they get out of the way.
So how's the shoulder going to go? I mean, trials, how's that feeling? And
I think it'll be okay.
that's good.
I've just got to be kind of good enough to post a time in April to qualify, just in case. But nah, I think I should be sweet. It's tracking well. Had a couple of cortisones.
That's all. It's all good for
2 weeks
now.
ago.
We're worried about how's it going to be for the rest of your life.
Well, then I'll be a tattoo artist, isn't it?
Oh,
I don't know what I'll do.
That's the question for most athletes.
Yeah, exactly. How's your back gonna go?
Yeah, how's your back? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Just try not to think about it.
Yeah.
We're just racehorses for the time being.
Yeah.
Jab you up, get you through your career, and then the other side, it's just, you can't do much. Sit down and watch a basketball every day.
Hopefully you can walk by the time you're 30.
Well, you guys have quite a short career, really, compared to what most people have. Any post-sporting goals or?
True. Well, yeah, that's what I want to get. No, I don't have it. I'm not getting interviewed again. Not the interviewer.
No, I want to know you too.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I'm going back to uni. Starts this week, actually.
Really?
It's exciting.
What are you studying?
I was studying psychology, but now I'm doing business, like sport and recreation management, so it's online. And I had completely forgotten about uni actually until maybe Friday. They sent me a text message saying that I need to pay my fees for uni this year or whatever. And then I went, I better start looking into that. And then I just worked out how to check my student emails, and I had 625 emails, which for me, I hate notifications, so that freaked me out completely. And
Is that like a whole day's work? Just going through your...
I just clicked read all.
Oh no!
And then, so yeah, that's exciting. I haven't bought the textbooks yet. I haven't done anything. There's supposed to be a bit of subject work that I haven't done. And
Tell him you've had a really hectic training schedule.
yeah, I think that'll work. I think that'll work. So I don't know whether I necessarily want to finish like a degree. I think it's just for me now would be cool to have something to kind of distract myself with, I think.
Yeah.
But just trying to fit it in.
Okay.
What are you going to do post diving?
So I graduated from uni.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Thank you. So I graduated a couple years ago with a journalism degree. So the dream is commentating and hosting on TV. I think the past year I've started to obviously realise, like, is there something else that I'd like to do? I really love kids. I really love inspiring, especially like the next gen of champs. Like I do quite a lot of school talks, business talks as well, corporate talks. I'm not sure where I'm going to end up, but got a degree in communications.
What do you do with the business talks? I'm curious about that.
It's
Like a motivational.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
So I actually sat down with my dad,
Wow.
and we pretty much worked out a lot of the skills that I've learned being an athlete. So I've been pretty much on the national team, I think, since I was 10, as a gymnast, obviously. And so pretty much the skills that I've learned over my career, how that can translate to business. Just from anything from procrastinating to just living a healthy lifestyle to motivation, goal setting.
Okay. So you actually have
finding passion.
So you would prefer to go in there and do a speech that you've already pre-prepared rather than like Q&A?
No.
You do Q&A?
Yeah, both.
Yeah. Oh, you do both. That's that's cool as well. Because I know for me, I suck at doing like a pre-planned speech that I never have any idea what to talk about. But Q&A, I'm fine with.
Right.
Well, I think for me, it's just like, especially if it is a pre-planned one.
Yeah.
I only really have a few talking points, and then from there, I guess like I might bring people up and I do some activities about like limitations of like the mind and stuff, and then that kind of sways the rest of the speech as well. So although it's kind of planned, it definitely is just on the flow and it's like where you can take it.
So how can people get in contact with you if they want a little talk?
Instagram.
Okay.
And my email is on my Instagram. So
We'll put that on our little bio thing.
Done.
And I really enjoy doing that as well. It also gives me a little bit of, a focus outside of diving, because you would know what it's like when you're training. It can be very like everything is about diving, especially here that I'm in Adelaide, because I don't have the support network that I do obviously in Melbourne. Obviously I'm trying to build it here.
How long have you been in Adelaide?
So we actually moved here in January last year, and then we were pretty much traveling so much. I was basically like, I felt like I was in a new bed every week. And then March came and the pandemic was announced, and then we got sent home, and then I was in Melbourne in lockdown until I think, when did I come over for quarantine? Maybe October.
That's quite fresh.
Yeah, and then moved back here, and I was stuck in Melbourne for another 6 weeks before Christmas, because Adelaide went into a little lockdown. And then, been back here and...
How are you finding little quiet Adelaide? Are you warming to it?
Yeah, I actually really like it.
Do you? Some people it takes a while if they're from a bigger city,
At first, it was a little bit to adjust to, the slower pace. But it is really pretty. I mean, I think Adelaide is super underrated. Yeah. The coastline is incredible. We just don't have that in Melbourne. No. So that's been really nice to explore that. Not 100% sure what I'm going to do in winter. So, any suggestions?
No, you're from Melbourne. It's the same sort of winter here that is in Melbourne.
Yeah, but what do you like? In summer here, I just explore the beaches.
Yeah. I love the cold and I love the rain. That's my favourite time of the year.
Me too.
Yeah. So so like, footy's on.
Right.
Footy's on.
We'll be able to take you to support games.
I'm down.
Footy, yeah. We'll take you to footy.
Alright, so we're going to play a game now. I'm going to get the boys to pick a stick. I'm going to make them as even as possible. No looking, because I'm going to show the camera. So they're all different lengths. Whoever picks the shortest one, gets the short straw, has to jump off the 10 metre. Alright.
We can see
and
the
she's broken ribs doing that. Imagine what will happen to us. I'm taking this one. Is that the small one? I knew. You know what? I was doomed.
I don't think it was the shortest one.
Yeah, but it was the shortest one that we picked.
I've done it before.
I think you're both gonna have to do it.
I'll do it with you.
Will you?
Yeah. I'll at least come up there.
Am I gonna break bones?
No.
The heart rate is up.
But you're a professional and you've broken bones.
Yeah, but she does
you-
flips. You're just gonna stand there and then just jump in.
Don't worry, I'll
drop.
coach you.
Yeah. I'm actually really scared about this one. We've played Bean Boozled in the past. Laz has had a few spews over it. He seems to always get the bad ones, but this is Flaming 5 challenge. So there's 5 different jelly beans, and they go up in levels of how hot they are. So it starts as sriracha. Okay. Jalapeno. Cayenne. I shouldn't be reading these.
No, but those
Habanero and
Something.
Carolina Reaper.
Yeah, that's the
Carolina
Oh.
Reaper. So that's the hottest one.
Yeah, that's the world's hottest chili.
I don't want to.
We don't
I've
have any
seen
milk,
someone
do we?
do the Carolina Reaper recently.
Stole the ice cream.
Craig. And it didn't go overly well, so I'm excited definitely to see Laz do the Carolina Reaper because you do put a bit of drama
Okay,
into
so
it.
you're gonna just. You know what? There's no drama on all that stuff. I genuinely felt sick, and I did not enjoy it.
So what do you want to try? What does it do? What do we actually? What do you want to do? With
Definitely has to be a blind.
you just pick one bean out.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
I'm gonna hold the plate above. We've poured the contents of the box out. I'm gonna hold it up high. No one can see what they're picking. I actually don't know what the colours were with the names, so I guess once we've picked one, then we'll see what they're called.
She's got one. Oh, you got another one?
What is it?
It's
What colour is it?
orange,
Please do the red one.
I'll do 2.
green and orange.
I'll do these.
Red.
Oh.
Oh, are we all orange? We're all the exact same.
Well, that's cool. We'll do all the orange
I'll
ones.
do a red one.
No, we'll do all the orange first, surely.
Okay.
Do all the orange
Yeah.
first.
So it's a jelly bean. It's chewy, or is it hard?
Do you know what? The orange one is sriracha, so we've actually got really lucky to start with.
Okay, so we're just testing the palate.
This is a jelly bean, remember?
Oh yeah, straight away.
Oh no. That is disgusting.
Not great tasting.
Why would someone buy these?
For this exact reason. Oh, that's such a good photo.
It's got a kick.
Does have a bit of kick. It's not terrible though. Like I'm not like.
Nah, I can handle that.
Okay.
Can't even swallow it.
Do we want
It's
to
stuck in
go?
my teeth.
It actually gets better as soon as you swallow it.
So you want to try the red one?
I'll have a red one.
Okay.
And then I'll have a
or
maroon
that
one if you
too?
really want me to.
Go the hottest one.
I'm assuming.
Just-
Well, this one's hotter.
Go 2 of those, just so you get like an actual bit of a colour in there. Is that the hottest one?
No, it's nothing. Honestly, the other one's
Wait,
worse.
it's gonna kick in.
Is that?
I reckon.
Oh yeah.
Was
I can handle that. That's alright. Give me the other one.
that the hottest?
I reckon. You reckon this is the hottest Reaper one? Look on the packet.
Reaper, easy.
Wow.
It was caught up on me that last one.
Well, no, that's
Let's
the
take it like a
Cayenne.
champ.
Oh, is it?
I think the red one's I think the red one here is the hot one.
Yeah, it's kicking in now.
Do you want to try the hot one or not?
Are you doing it?
You can do that. Trust me. I'm a
My
professional.
tongue's
I saw
burning.
one of my assistant coaches did this the other week when we were on the Sunshine Coast, and he was tearing up. So I thought it was going
I'm
to be
pretty
a
good with
horrible
heat though.
reaction.
I'm a wog, so.
Can't say that.
Okay. Well, even if it's your own kind. Have one.
Of these.
Of them.
Okay.
Nose run a little bit.
What's the brownie one?
The brownie one's
Oh.
the jalapeno. No, it's
I'm gonna watch you do it first and
Cayenne.
then just see how you handle
It
it.
just sticks
See,
on your
the
tongue.
trick is I've done these jelly beans games regularly recently, and the way to cheat around it is you just put it in your teeth, bite a couple times, and swallow.
Oh, mine was getting fully stuck in all the grooves.
My whole tongue's on fire. Yeah. No, it's just my tongue though.
You're right. Doesn't seem hot to start with.
She'll kick in.
Oh no.
So they're the hottest ones.
Face is getting a bit red.
Just stays on your tongue though.
It's really hot.
I'm not good with spice. It's gonna be interesting.
You what? Do you want to try?
Alright.
I like spice. I'm just not good with it.
I'm nervous for you.
I'm
It gets
nervous.
worse, doesn't it? Just
Yeah.
gradually gets worse.
Oh, this is not tasting good.
Nah. You can spit it into the bush if you want. There's
Yeah.
plenty more jelly beans going out there.
Not a chance.
Nah, she's doing that. Easy.
Wait for about.
Good.
Give it time. Because it lingers.
It gets
and
worse.
It stays on your tongue.
Oh my gosh.
How bad is it for a jelly bean?
Whew.
Okay.
Alright, so should we do the drawing now?
Yeah. Have you watched the show before?
Yes.
Have you?
Wow. people
Just to
watching.
know what to do.
So,
Big fan.
Big fan. There we
So
go.
if you do your name,
Yep.
picture of you, and then sign it.
Look, I never did art class because I was a
No,
gymnast.
it can be as... We've got all scales of art, so...
Do you
The
want
only
me-
thing
do you want
I
me to get
can
some
draw-
lines to show you?
Nah, it's all good. It's not
Okay.
gonna help.
Yeah.
The only thing I can draw is a beach scene.
You can do whatever you want.
That's your piece of.
Alright.
Yeah, this is your time.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna draw a little person. Does that matter?
No,
Okay,
do
cool.
whatever you want to do.
Well, Laura, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
We love the drawing.
Love the
It's,
drawing.
You've got a story to it. The first one that's got a bit of a
We ate
story.
crickets, we ate mealworms, we did it all. We had a lot of fun.
Fit lardo.
We're still
We had a
not
good
done
laugh.
though because we've still got Laz to jump off the 10-meter platform.
Can't wait.
But it's been a really good episode. It's probably one of my favourites so
Shit
far.
myself.
We say that every week, but I think we just genuinely really enjoyed
We didn't
it.
give ourselves a time limit on this on the dive. Could be 2028. Couldn't it? Loopholes. Huh?